But, Joe, for us to avoid the debate of 2019-2020, is it not behoven on the current people responsible for the system to say, we've done as much as we can going into what we believe will be a bad one?
Yeah, well, I think part of the problem, my understanding is part of the problem, ironically enough, has been that the winter was too wet for them to conduct hazard reduction burns. And so, ironically, it was the wetness during the winter which is going to make it more hazardous when we're getting to a dry summer.
But you'd think, here's the target, did we achieve it, here's why we did it,
I think it's pretty hard. No, that's right, but I think I'm not sure if they have official targets or whatever, but it's quite opportunistic. Like that, I think they look at things and say, right, we've got a bit of, and again, I'm an art student, clearly I'm not a firefighter, but they think, look, we've got the right weather conditions here in this place for these few days, and we can do.
We've
also got the Greens who complain, say, no, we don't want any backburning.
Yeah, that is also annoying. Yeah,
and they are literally put impediments.
I think hazard reduction and backburning are different things.
They are really bad.
The fires get upset if you confuse it. But yes,
they want it to burn.
No, the Greens are terrible people. I don't think I've said a good word about the Greens in my professional career.
They can go to.
But the problem is, and again, you know, climate change is real and it is happening. But I think the one lesson is that fear-mongering doesn't win you any converts, and also telling people, oh, they've just got to cop blackouts or they've just got to cop job losses, and you've got to sacrifice yourself on the altar of a climate target. That is not going to work either. So you have to, like you were saying with the voice, you know, you have to tell people, all right,
we are
what's
a
the
lot
benefit
happier when we're warmer than when we're in an ice age.
Yeah, correct.
Thank you very much.
Can we use your experience as a former Speaker of the Parliament about what happened today, where Catherine King, I mean, basically, the memo goes out to the ministers, look, at the end of the day, Speaker will let you not answer a question. Opposition turns around today and says, not on. In fact, we're going to move a dissent motion. I'm doing the simple version for everyone, which meant you get 30 minutes to argue other sides, which is why we saw the fire and brimstone that we did today. Obviously, you're a Liberal, but you are a former Speaker. Does this one let the government get away with more than even other Labor speakers would have?
Well, it was a good tactic to use, but I must say they had been persevering for some days to try and get some answers on this question, unlike Mr Burke, for instance, who on my second day in the chair moved to dissent from my ruling.
Yes.
Having the day before called me a witch, which I said, well, I'll ignore and we'll get on with it. But one rule for socialists, one rule for everybody else.
Surprise.
And I must say I watched Mr Burke with absolute amazement and amusement today, trying to talk about transparency and what a silly thing it was to do when somebody was just using a tactic he'd used previously.
Yeah, correct.
So it was a perfectly legitimate thing to do because he did make a ruling and it was dissented from. So
about the government and Qatar.
Yes.
Now, they made, and at the very least, the government made the decision that helped Qantas.
Yep.
Qantas, Prime Minister says, nobody came and saw me. Catherine King won't say exactly what the scenario is, has offered up 17 different answers. How does the government get out of the problem of its own making? Does it reverse the decision? Does it change the subject? Does it turn up to a Senate inquiry and give information?
Yeah, it's an interesting one. I to be honest, I don't really understand how the government got itself into this mess in the first place, and I'm just waiting for someone to come up with the headline, "While my Qatar gently weeps." You're welcome. But I think the problem is if you're going to backflip on something or change direction or say, you have to do it fast. You have to do it in a way that looks like you're seizing the initiative, that you're on top of the problem before the rest of the country is, the rest of the world is, and looking like you're the people's agent there. No. So Albo could have gotten up and said, "This has been brought to my attention. The minister acted unilaterally."
He can't do it.
No.
I have been saying ever since he got elected as Prime Minister that nobody. I sat in that chamber with him for 20 years, and nobody ever said he was leadership material. And now we're seeing why. He is just not up to the job.
Well, I think he's very loyal, and he doesn't hang people out to dry easily.
He was always Albo the Trot, and he hasn't.
No, he's Albo the fixer. He's Albo.
He's Albo.
Stop it!
Really.
Even I'll pull you back on that. All right, last one here I want to ask about.